G'day guys, Rick here from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and we just thought we'd do a bit of an educational video, and we just wanted to talk a bit about which precious metal might be right for you in comparing silver and gold. Now, again, like if you've not watched some of our earlier videos where we discuss bars, coins and rounds, it might pay to watch those first. So a lot of the things we'll reference that in some comparisons. So if you're looking at investing in precious metals, there is platinum and other metals, but we won't get into that too much because I feel like the main ones are going to be gold and silver, as most people probably know. Now, it is, I know it seems like a cop-out, but it's definitely personal preference and suited to where you're at, but we'll try and cover some of the pros and cons, and then you can apply those to yourself in your situation to sort of see what might be best for you. So we've got some gold and silver products here. Now the main thing when we talk about gold and silver as far as investing, and again, none of this is financial advice, this is just the opinion of one person. Now, typically most people are investing in gold. It's a safer bet, I would say, but you'll likely see smaller swings up and down. So for me, people closer to the end of their investment cycle or like working life probably find gold to be a better investment, because just its stability over long periods of time, you're going to get more consistent growth with fewer big falls, but also conversely to that, you're going to get fewer big gains. So whilst you might see silver bump around 5, 6, 7% in a 24-hour period, like we've probably seen over the last few weeks from time to time, you're unlikely to see that with gold. Gold is much smaller movements. 1, 2% is a big move for gold, whereas silver, it'd be nothing to see a 5, 6% move in the same time period. So if you're later in your investment life, you might like to see the gold because you know what you're going to see as a return more consistently over a shorter time span. Whereas silver, if you're young, and when I say young, you know, precious metals obviously for typically an older demographic. So, you know, if you're in your 30s and things like that, you might find silver to be better for you because you might see some really aggressive returns in the short to medium term. But you can also see really aggressive downswings. So hence why gold is probably for people who are closer to the end of their investment life, and silver, I feel like, is more for those younger people looking to see some really heavy growth. So I would say, you know, as a moving target, maybe you want to be, and again, not financial advice, but younger people early on in their investment might want to be 80% silver, 20% gold, and then that'll slowly swing the other way, I feel, as you get, you know, towards your 50s, maybe even your 60s, you might start to say, well, I want to be 80% gold and 20% silver. Now, going back to the videos that we've done previously where we've spoken about different premiums and different pros and cons of coins and rounds and bars, you can look at those videos and sort of apply the same strategy to gold and silver, but with silver, you're, as we spoke about in the bars video specifically, 1 kilo to 10 ounce is sort of your sweet spot. Now, when you transfer that to gold, you're going to find that that's probably closer to an ounce, somewhere between an ounce and a quarter ounce or somewhere around there is going to be your sweet spot for premium. So we've got a 1/10 ounce here. So these are the two products. I'll just get them side by side there. So we've got the 1 ounce and the 1/10. Now the premium will start to obviously go up pretty significantly from the 1 to the 10 ounce, but a 1/10 ounce. But the 1/10 ounce still does offer relatively good value for the amount of precious metals you're going to get. But then as you go into smaller sizes, such as this 1 gram bar we've got here, you're going to start to see like a really high premium growth. So that is comparable to, say, getting into the smaller, a 1 gram is probably closer to like a fractional silver round or coin, whereas like your 1/10 is probably around the 1 ounce, and your 1 ounce is probably closer to your your 1 kilo, and then obviously your quarters and things are probably similar to a 1/10 ounce bar. So you can take some of the things we spoke about in those videos and apply them as you like. Obviously you can get huge gold bars also. You can get 1 kilo gold bars and your premium is really low. But a lot of people, that's not in their budget, so we won't spend too much time talking about that. But the premium growth that we've spoken about in those videos is also true. Now the gold, if you're buying a gold 1 ounce coin, you might see a $200 premium growth. If it's something that's somewhat collectible, such as a Myths and Legends or something, you might see an additional $200 over the last few years of premium growth. But when you compare that as a portion of the value of what you've invested, it's obviously significantly less, because $200 on a $3,000 coin it's not even 10%. Whereas if you'd have bought, say, the same coin in silver, you might have seen a $15 premium growth, but you've only invested 45, so that's obviously 33% premium growth, which sort of falls into the mix of like what the benefits of these two metals are. Like, you're likely to get some more accelerated growth in your silver if you're lucky enough to get on an upswing, but you could also see a similar downturn for the metal content. But the same sort of holds true a little bit with premiums. So silver for growth, gold for safety is the easiest way to surmise it, I suppose. So yeah, I think it's important to have a little bit of both in your stack. But as I said earlier, if you're early on in your journey of stacking, I would probably be leaning fairly heavily towards silver, and then as you move later on, you move a bit heavier into gold. With that said, obviously a lot of people reference gold-silver ratio, which is, I think, and I'm not 100% sure what it is exactly today, but it might be about 75 at the moment. Wasn't long ago that was in the hundreds, 104, 105. And obviously you can play that a little bit as well. So some people have the theory of when the gold-silver ratio is over 90, they're only buying silver. And then when it's under 70, they're only buying gold. And you can use that as well, just keeping in mind, just because silver's overvalued, like, we've seen it at 120 in recent times a couple of years ago. So it didn't necessarily mean a hard swing the other way either. Like, it does play around a little bit. It's been in the 90s to the hundreds. And it's no guarantee just because silver's undervalued that it's going to catch up. But history has shown that it does do that at times. I wouldn't bet my house on it though. So you don't want to miss out. So for me, I would have a little bit in both and just adjust it based on your needs and where you're at in life, I suppose. Yeah, if you go back to those other videos, if there's any questions on how you might apply some of those theories from those videos, we're happy to answer those in the comments. So please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions about how some of these might, and look, it's only our opinion, we're not here to offer financial advice. But yeah, I think generally speaking, most people can sort of see what each of these products offer as a value to you, as also as a pro and con sort of thing. But yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to chuck a question below and we'll try and get back to you as best we can. Otherwise, we'll see you all next week with another educational video. Thanks so much for watching.